The 44th verse of the Tao Te Ching. Quote, "Which means more to you, you or your renown? Which brings more to you, you or what you own? I say what you gain is more trouble than what you lose. Love is the fruit of sacrifice. Wealth is the fruit of generosity. A contented man is never disappointed. He who knows when to stop is preserved from peril. Only thus can you endure long." Unquote. Living by knowing when to stop. This 44th verse tells you that changing the way you prioritize your life ensures a fruitful one. I call it the enough is enough section of the Tao Te Ching. When you update your view of the most important things in your life, the world around you is going to seem very different. Lao Tzu is urging you to look into your heart and examine what is truly important. Earlier verses of the Tao Te Ching counsel that the essential mission of your life is to go back or to get to know your originating source before physical death. In other words, you don't have to die to make that return trip. It's not only possible but essential to feel your connection to the Tao while you're still alive. Knowing when to stop is part of the path leading you to your essential self, where the need for fame and possessions is non-existent. You see, it's not the things or even a desire for recognition that keeps you from living a life of connection to the Tao. It's your attachment to them that gets in the way. So shift the importance you've placed on success or belongings, which has obscured your connectedness to the Tao. Begin to note the senselessness of demanding more or exhausting yourself in pursuit of what keeps you trapped in a vicious cycle of striving and never arriving, or trying to find fulfillment. This verse implores you to know when to stop. I'm sure that you can easily see people in your environment who spend their entire lives seeking more of everything. More possessions, more money, more recognition, awards, friends, places to go, substances, food, you name it. If you live with this same philosophy, you've signed up for a life of frustration and dissatisfaction because the search itself becomes your jailer. It's easy to see then why Lao Tzu advises that what you gain is far more trouble than what you lose. When you prioritize your life, you'll find that love and a feeling of abundance are not only what you desire, but these two principles are instantly available because you've changed the way you look at the world. From this new perspective, you'll feel totally loved and wealthy in all ways. I realize that Lao Tzu is again speaking in what seems to be paradoxical words, but he's coming to you from the perspective of having changed the way he looked at things and noting that what he looked at changed. He now sees love and wealth everywhere. Yet he knows intuitively that he can never possess them by chasing after them, since they'll always remain just outside of his grasp. And so he looks at the Tao and sees the Great Way keeps nothing for itself, is willing to let go of its life-giving essence, and is desirous to share with all. When you give of yourself asking nothing in return and withdrawing your need for recognition, you'll experience more contentment. The fruits of wealth and love are seen right there before you when you simply stop the chase. The beauty of the wisdom in this 44th verse is that you give away your attachments to things or ways of being, which is what I mean by knowing when to stop. If the chase is wreaking havoc on your relationship, stop. If the chase is exhausting you, stop. If the chase is keeping you from enjoying your life, stop. When you know when to cease and desist, you're protected from all of these perils, and you'll soon enjoy a long and contented existence connecting with the Tao. The following is what Lao Tzu seems to ask me to offer you as a means for implementing this teaching. First, make your relationship to the Tao your top priority. Prioritize your life by making this the essential and foremost responsibility you have. Your primary relationship needs to be with yourself, not your family, your business, your country, your culture, or your ethnicity. Affirm, the number one priority in my life is my relationship with my source of being, or with God. Go there first, before any other considerations, and you'll automatically discontinue demanding more of anything. You'll begin to emulate the Tao effortlessly, living heaven on earth. And secondly, practice knowing when to stop. Alert yourself to recognize when it's a good time to stop demanding or chasing or talking or walking or working or sleeping or playing and shopping or complaining or striving, and on they go. By practicing cessation, you'll move into prioritizing what's important in your life in that moment. Is your business doing well? Let it stop growing. Is your stomach full? Quit eating right now. Do you have enough money saved? give some of it away without taking deductions or asking for credit for your generosity. The more you're attached to needing and wanting and possessing, the more you lose in your relationship to the Tao. But when you know the time to stop, you say goodbye to the troubles that accrue for those who sacrifice arriving for a lifetime of striving. Do the Tao now. Pick an area of your life to practice releasing an attachment by deciding when to stop. For example, plan to leave 10 minutes before you think you're done in the grocery store, or refrain from buying anything that's not on your list. At work, restrain yourself from getting another cup of coffee or writing one more personal email. In a relationship, don't say anything else in a discussion that's going nowhere. These are all examples of attachment to being or doing. You can also practice detaching by giving something away. Just recently, for instance, my son surprised both of us by doing just that. I was admiring a new T-shirt he'd just purchased, and he said, "Here, Dad, you like this one so much that even though it's my favorite, I want you to have it." It was a simple, spontaneous letting go of an attachment, and both of us felt the wealth that is the fruit of generosity.